What's going on, guys? Back on the New England Shakeup, episode 13. It is Cam and Alex back again. Guys, just want to let everybody know that the New England Shakeup is brought to you by Gordon Ramsay Burger on 116 Newberry Street in Boston, Massachusetts. Cam and I go there tons of times. It is very, very good, especially if you guys go with your family, go with a couple friends, get a drink, do whatever. It is a very, very good time. But with no further ado, my co-guest and my co-host of New England Shakeup, Cam, what is going on, my guy?
Not much. I'm just happy we got our sponsors in and that we can start another video. And I got some Patriots acquisitions to go over.
Yeah, we got a ton to unfold today, guys. Episode 13 kicking off with a Patriots episode. So I know you guys, we had an episode a couple weeks back. We did a big NFL mock draft. We went through that, all of that with you. But today is really, based off of the sole New England Patriots and really what, Cam and I have seen, Cam and I have been looking at. Especially, with me going down there, having firsthand looks at practices and things of that nature. It's been really cool to see a lot of things down there. So, with that said, let's get into the first, big thing, and it's really how does Drake May look? A lot of people have been, saying, "Oh, Drake May doesn't have that deep ball. Drake May can't do this. Drake May can't do that." Cam, what did we tell the people a couple weeks ago, even if the Patriots did draft Drake May? What was the smart thing to do?
Get receivers.
Get receivers, number one. Number two was not rushing him, correct? Um,
Oh,
I
yeah.
I think you know, a lot of people want Drake May to be a Tom Brady-esque quarterback. Guys, let's be real. That's the reason why Mac Jones didn't work out in New England. There was unreal expectations put on that kid from the jump that he came in to the Patriots. He basically was told, you either have to win championships, and if you don't win championships, you're gone. Because that was the standard that Brady set for 20 years in New England. Now I look at this May kid, a lot of people are like, oh, well, he can't roll out left and make that throw. He can't roll out right and make that throw. But we're also forgetting, guys, that they're in 7-on-7 OTAs against just rookies. So, with that said, you can take it as a grain of salt as, yeah, he's not playing good against other rookies, but, have you guys ever heard the saying playing up to your competition? So I think that Drake holds a lot of standards to himself that he's not going to be another quarterback that the Patriots just move on from. I think Drake is really set on being this franchise quarterback for them. I just don't know if this season is the year that he fully breaks out to be that. But Cam, you said that you had some extra additions after OTAs. A couple undrafted rookies, I take it, were picked up, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, so some players were released. So, like, TJ Luther was released from the Patriots, and the Falcons had either released or waived JQ Jackson. So that's a player that, I don't know, he's just really interesting that they dropped him so that we could pick him up because he ran a 4.4 40,
Okay.
6'2", 190. His stats were a little underwhelming. 22 receptions, 360 yards, 1 touchdown. But he's somebody that runs like really good routes, isn't afraid to block, looks really versatile. So I don't know. I don't know why the Falcons would have let a player go like that. He gives me kind of a glimpse of like Calvin Ridley, Tavon Austin type of creativity on the runs too.
Okay. Is that somebody that you could see the Patriots possibly picking up on the 53 or the practice squad going into this year, because of the unlikelihood or just the unreliability, let's call it at this point, of Juju Smith-Schuster?
Yeah, I mean, he looks pretty good. I'd love to see like some actual practices with him in, but yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell until you actually see it. I mean, everyone kind of jokes about the eyeball test, but yeah, they play a lot of like trick plays with this guy too. So I could see Gerard Mayo wanting to take a chance on this guy,
Yeah,
like pitching it back to him and him kind of acting as if he's going to throw it and then he runs it. Just weird trick plays like that.
Georgia. So he's kind of like a gadget guy, I guess we could
Yeah,
say.
definitely.
Um,
And that's awesome that you say that because the next guy that the Patriots also picked up is kind of similar in that sense. David Wallace. I don't have like the height and weight written, but that's not super important for this guy. He's somebody that reminds me a lot of like Julian Edelman because he kick returns, punt returns, wide receiver. He had 53 receptions for 957 yards and 12 touchdowns. So like almost 1,000 yard season.
wow.
And I don't know, he's just somebody that could be exciting. Like Gerard Mayo, somebody that I feel like is gonna try and throw people off on offense, whether
Yeah,
it's with Jacoby Brissett or Drake May.
for
And yeah,
sure.
these are both guys that I could see at least hopefully making the 53 man.
Okay. Is there, I always talk about this like with a player that, especially an undrafted rookie, um, is this is this somebody that you could see getting playing time this year? Any
Oh
of
yeah,
these guys listed, because you said kick returner for David, and you
yeah,
know, uh, we've always talked about how great Marcus Jones is as a return specialist, but I think we can both agree that it's, in the NFL, what's the best thing about the NFL? Having depth, right? Having people that can do the same thing that somebody else can do. Um, Maybe that's a depth personnel move for the Patriots, looking for a possible backup kick returner in case, God help us, but in case anything were to happen to Marcus, they would have somebody to go to. Yeah?
yeah. No, definitely. That's what I saw more in this guy. But yeah, I mean, both of them could be good pickups. But yeah, that's definitely a more versatile thing about him that just kind of like excited me looking at.
Yeah, and I think what is cool too to also see, especially what I've seen the last couple weeks, is how revitalized some of these wide receivers looked that were in New England. Kendrick looks like he's running faster than he was last year before getting hurt. Somebody who people don't talk about because they're calling him a bust, but somebody who's really put in a lot of work this offseason has been Tyquan Thornton. Tyquan Thornton people has been working. Like the kids' routes have gotten, I don't even know how, but have just gotten extremely better. The kid looks like he's ready to finally prove himself as an NFL wide receiver and possibly maybe the NFL wide receiver too for this Patriots team this year. Jalen Polk, I look at more as like, one of those slot guys, like a Welker, Edelman, Aaron Dobson kind of player. Uh, but I think Tyquan Thornton takes a leap this year, and Jacoby Brissett, Drake May, whoever you want back there. I'm gonna trust Tyquan Thornton this year. I think Tyquan breaks out. I think he has about 800, 900 yards this year. He has to, because the work he's put in, especially going and training with Devonte Adams and training with Brandon Ayuk and training with Debo and training with, there was somebody else that he trained with down in Houston, Nico Collins. Yeah, so he's been training a ton with a lot of great NFL wide receivers in order to get better. So I look for Taekwon to take a huge leap going into this year. But let's get into the scheme that the Patriots are going to be running this year. So defensively, it looks like they're going to stay with the 3-4. Now, Cam, as we both know, 3-4 usually means you have two outside linebackers on the edge along with two defensive tackles. Now, if you're the Patriots, you have Judon on one side, but are you going to put Keon White on the other side and try to play Keon White as an outside linebacker? That's where I have question marks. But, if you wanted to put Josh Uche there, that would be something that they could look to. But that's not really something that you can expect Uche to do because Uche kind of plays the same side that Judon does. So then you're asking your star edge rusher to switch sides before the season starts. Kind of iffy. What do you think?
Not really sure what to make of that situation, honestly. I don't really want to have to switch somebody right before the season starts. But I don't know if we didn't. I mean, we don't really have anyone else to play that position. I mean, our D tackles are more set than the outside linebackers.
Yeah, Gotchow and I forget somebody else is there as well. Phillips. Phillips is there as well, but it's like it's one of those things where you can't really like expect this defense. Like people are expecting this defense to be top five. It can be top five, but you also need like Uche to have 11 sacks. You need Gonzo to have 8 picks. They also need to shore up who's going to be their cornerback number two. That's a huge question mark. Cam wants Stephon Gilmore. I say, why not? Why not bring Stephon Gilmore in? You have the money. You have plenty of money to do what you need to do. And make things right. Bring Stephon back to New England. Let him train Gonzo the right way, and let's make Gonzo an All Pro. Why not? But Cam, what is like your biggest, I should say, takeaway from Patriots draft? What was your biggest surprise of the Patriots draft? Who are you really looking forward to see to start the year?
I'm just looking forward to seeing who tries to chase Kendrick Bourne's stats this season because I think at least Kendrick Bourne's having over 1,000 yards. I don't want to jinx his season, but I think at least he's having over 1,000 yards in either Polk or Demario Douglas. Because Demario Douglas was looking really good those last few games he played, and I bet he's been putting in some real work. So I could see both of Kendrick Bourne and Demario Douglas having 1,000 yard seasons.
Yeah,
And then I think that's kind of going to light a fire under the other rookies we got,
yeah,
like either Polk, Baker, Thornton's been looking really good. Maybe he comes in for a sleeper thousand
I
yard season.
I really could see
I
it.
think yeah, I mean I think if Brissett and Drake May can just kind of let it fly, that a couple of the Patriots receivers could have 1,000 yards. And that would be nice because it's been a while since we've had 1,000 yard season. And yeah, even something like bringing Stephon Gilmore back would bring a lot of stability to the defense.
Oh, 100%. And I think the cool thing about, what this Patriots team is like Cam and I brought up a great point when we were with each other last weekend is like the Patriots are so fucking under the radar right now. Like nobody is expecting them to do jack shit going into the year. People are expecting the Patriots to have like 3 to 5 wins next year. That is like I'm sorry, but that's disrespectful. With the roster, at least they have defensively, their defense can win them 5 games healthy next year. Right now, yeah, they could win 5 games. That defense could win them 5 games. The problem I think everybody's having is rookie quarterback. Oh, Patriots didn't have good luck with Mac Jones. Yeah, but the problem was with Mac, who did you have there as a veteran quarterback that was going to be able to give him any type of chance at not starting? They had nobody there that was giving Mac Jones a legitimate like, oh crap, I was a first round pick. Oh, I might not be a starter right away. Who was there? Brian Hoyer? Brian Hoyer. That's who was there. That's who the competition was when Mac Jones came into New England. Brian Hoyer. That's not a lot of competition. Now Drake May has Jacoby Brissett, who's been an NFL quarterback, who's been a starter, who's been a legit pro for the last 5, 6, 7 years, and gets to learn. I think it's a great thing. Cam, what's your take on Javon Baker? I really want to get your take on him. Uh, some of the kind of quote unquote trash talking he's been doing, but I love it. I think it's great. But what do you think?
I think it's hilarious. I don't know. Players like that always just make me laugh. So I think it's hilarious, but I think he's gonna back it up. Like he has super good quickness and just like lateral explosion. So I don't know. I just kind of can't wait for the season to start. I think he's gonna be like a almost DK Metcalf esque with like his attitude and swagger, or like George Pickens maybe.
I could, I know. I was gonna say this earlier. I think that kid has George Pickens written all over him.
Yeah, yeah.
All over him. I mean, like just the ability that like the catch radius that George Pickens had coming into the
Oh
draft.
yeah.
And then you put them like side by side and it's like there's literally no difference. The catch radius is the same, the speed is, the same if Baker's not faster. The only problem that I think that, Baker had was he was at a smaller school in UCF and Pickens was at fucking Georgia. I mean, you basically just like take your pick there, whether you're gonna take somebody who played in the SEC or take somebody who played in the American. It's basically like take your pick there. Um, my biggest thing is what do you look for in, Brissett to start the year? Do you look for him to kind of be that mentor to Drake May, pulling him aside, letting him learn? Do you think I don't think there's any bad blood with Jacoby if, Drake eventually starts, but what if Jacoby Brissett has them off to a 4-2 6-game start to start the year? Do you then take Brissett out? No. You'd have to leave him in for a whole other year, and let's say the Patriots make the postseason, then they're in a lot of trouble. Because then you have Brissett, who just led you to the playoffs, and you have Drake May just sitting there. There's a lot of things
I don't
that
know. I
people
think
don't
I
talk
think
about.
that could be a problem, but that's also almost like the exact same thing with like I don't know, like a lot of good players like Brett Favre and
Yep.
then Brett Favre to Rodgers. I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like if anything, that would just revive Jacoby Brissett, and if we were to re-sign him, maybe he wants to trade or something. Who knows?
Right. Right. There's a lot to unfold with the Patriots, a lot to unfold. But is there anything else, Cam, that you really wanted to talk about, player wise for New England? What you look for? I wanted to ask you about the safety room, with Peppers and Duggar obviously coming back. What do you look for them to bolster up on the defense? And also, what do you look for as far as like somebody who we're not talking about a lot? In Hunter Henry, what do you look for Hunter Henry to bring to the offense?
Not really sure what I expect for him to bring up for the offense because my last point I really had to bring up was an undrafted tight end that we picked up that I think could actually get some real minutes for the Patriots. So, not to downplay what Hunter Henry's been doing, but I think somebody who could be a good backup and learn a lot from him is Jaheim Bell.
Yep.
He's a 6'2", 240. He ran a 4.6 40-yard dash. And he didn't have like great stats or a lot of production, but he was more of a blocking tight end, which would help the run game. That would
Yeah.
really free up like Gibson and Stevenson. And a lot of the tight ends we've had aren't necessarily great blockers or like to block. And this guy doesn't care about blocking. If anything, he likes to get a pancake block and play physical. So I think he's somebody that could help the run game at the very least. And I think the safety room's kind of looking good with who they brought back. I mean, they could always pick someone up. The Patriots have a lot of money to spend, but I think they're just hoarding it all. We'll see if they make any acquisitions.
Yeah, there was a really cool take that I wanted to deep dive on really quick is that what is your ceiling for the Patriots and then what is your floor? And then obviously we will close out with sponsor obviously, but I just wanted to get your last 2 points on that.
I would say the floor for the Patriots is probably 5 wins. I would say my ceiling, being optimistic, is either 8 or 9 wins.
Okay.
Maybe 9 wins if Drake May plays really well
Okay.
and ends up starting.
Okay. And with that said, guys, episode 13 of the New England Shakeup, we are going to wrap up with our sponsor, of course, as we always do. Cam, let the people know who we are sponsored by.
Yeah, so guys, this was the New England Shakeup brought to you by Crazy Good Kitchen at 168 Newberry Street in Boston, Mass. It's one of my favorite spots to eat at. And we'll see you on the next episode.
We will see you guys on the next episode. Pat's Rewind on the NFL Draft. We are out. Alex and Cam, peace.